Hey guys, this is Joe Wally, and welcome to my first video. So, today, just kind of testing the waters on this, I'm going to be playing May I Take Your Order? Have no idea what it's about, just kind of pick something random to just see how the audio and video go and make sure everything's going fine. So, let's just hop right into it. Alright. I've been filling out a few applications today, and this is the last one. I've been applying to work at restaurants all over. It might not seem glamorous, but I want to see how different places are run. If I want to open my own restaurant someday, it's crucial to see what does and doesn't work. A friend told me I should save my top pick for last, and I should really kick him for that. My hand's about to fall off. It's a pretty ritzy establishment, but comfortable. Fancy, but not overpriced. Important clientele, but still kind and inclusive. If you can't make connections here, you're dead. Financially speaking. And the food remarkable. I've never heard of anyone ever having a bad meal there. I gotta know how they accomplish so much. So I try not to be too nervous and fill this out like it's any other application. My first name is Joe Waffle, since we're on the food kick here. Enter. Okay. There you go, Joe Waffle. Fill my address and try not to despair over my handwriting before getting to the personal section. Gender is male. And I finished filling out the form. I capped the pen and leaned back in my chair, and man, it's nice to be done. Well, except for heading outside and turning them all in one at a time. Better get to it. 2 weeks later, and I'm waist deep in my first Saturday shift at the restaurant. Busy doesn't even begin to describe it. After 7 hours of the weekend rush, I'm ready to go home. I stop off at table 6 and go through the motions. Thank you for dining with us, sir. My name is Joe Waffle, and I'll be your server for this evening. He smiles at me. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Joe Waffle. Have you dined with us before, sir? Yes, indeed. I'm quite happy to be back. Just you this evening, sir? No, my girlfriend will be here shortly. I'll just have a cup of coffee while I wait for her. I'll go get that for you right away then. No rush. Countless families and couples have come and gone today, but for the past hour, that one guy's been clocking up table 6. Are you doing all right, sir? He checks his watch again. Yes, I mistook the time. She'll be here any second. He's been saying that for the past 45 minutes. I tell him to pack it up and leave, but he doesn't have the look I'd expect for somebody in his position. There's anxiety, but only a little bit, and there's no disappointment. Not a shred of doubt in his eyes. He really thinks. Excuse me. He looks up at me as he come to sort of a decision. Thanks, good. But this is a restaurant with crayons, correct? Yes, sir. We have those for kids. Excellent. I sting a ferocity enter his eyes, one that doesn't quite pair naturally with crayons. One, please, in red, if you got it. Yeah, sure. I'm not about to argue with a customer, so I head to the front. It's not exactly usual, but the guy has been sitting here for a half hour with no phone. I'm caught between pity and irritation, and hope for the umpteenth time that he's had enough empathy to tip well on the single cup of coffee he's been nursing. There's a small tin with several crayons. We try to keep fresh ones ready. I grab. Let's be nice, you know. He didn't ask for blue, he asked for red. He's been waiting here for a half hour. I snatch up a red crayon. No sense being mean to him. He may be weird, but he's probably having a bad night too. I bring the crayon back over to him and hand it over. Thank you, Mr. Joe Waffle. It's no big deal. Hey, are you okay? I saw you don't have a cell phone, but we could call your girlfriend in. No warning, nothing. He knocks everything off the table and climbs right on. Oh, what? Sir? Please get down. His deft hand scrolls a wide circle, then another, then sections off areas, slicing as though the crayon were a knife. He fills it with symbols. They look almost like zodiac signs. Homo sum humani ameni hier alinam puto. It's like I stood up too fast. There's a rushing to my head. There's a pressure like my ears are going to. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Calm down there. I'm not screaming right now. The tablecloth rips and there's a spray of sweet-smelling flail. I leap away from the table as something bursts out. That's the girl I want to date. Is that the girlfriend? Wet, spiked appendages are flailing all over, slapping and snaking their way over the window and doors. They're fleshy but soft. Too soft, and they mush and disfigure as they slam against everything in sight. One smacks the hat off another diner, who continues to eat her meal. Okay? Yeah, I mean, slimy thing just smacks right off your head. At least the souffle is good. Unfazed. Nobody's screaming, and nobody notices me on the ground, arm raised to protect my face and throat, too tight to scream again. Oh, whoops. But that's okay. The thing is screaming enough for the entire restaurant. It's letting out a dual-tone screech, high and low, but I can't discern one throat, let alone two. Crayon thrown to the floor, the stood-up guy and worst dinner ever starts to call out at it. Sweetie, for goodness sake, put your body on. We're in a nice restaurant. It screeches and roars back at him. Worst diner. I know, but... He waves a bundle of clothes at it. I brought you some clothes. It's super comfy. It slurps up the bundle of fabric, and the creature bubbles and draws back to itself, twisting until... Oh. I emerge. You're here. You had me worried, so I figured I'd help break the barrier down a bit. I don't know how to pronounce that. You have no idea how good it is to see you. When he says that word, my ears finally pop and my teeth grit. It's a bad word. It's not a curse word per se. Not so much a word you wouldn't say in front of your boss. It feels like the wrong answer in a classroom or meeting. That moment when everyone turns and looks at you, and you just want to sink through the floor. I just want to sink through the floor. I want to very quietly go get my coat and change my name and move to whatever town is on the exact opposite point of the globe from where I'm currently standing. I kind of would too. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I thought that was a tooth. And, you know, her eyelashes are pretty done, but, you know, eyebrows on fleek. 12 eyes, sorry. They're just kind of looking up, like, You informed me that the barrier was to be frail in this portion of your world. I will hold you responsible for the trouble. Well, don't have to be mean about it. He's beaming at the thing that came out of the hole, but I can't look at it. It hurts to roll my eyeballs toward it, like I'm dehydrated. I mean, what do you stare at? Which eyeballs? Which pair of eyeballs do you stare at, really? When I close my eyes, the dark behind my eyelids is so cool and so soft. Huh? There are tears running down my cheeks. I hadn't noticed. The guy Hendrik beams and gestures towards a gaggle of eyes and puffy wool. This is my girlfriend, Teleporia. Impudent microbe. I may choose to craft for myself the form of a creator, a birthing one. But I am capable of far greater creations than your prepubescent females, and far more God. Your inflated ego thinks I would deign to refer to you as any form of companion. Her words wash over him like a gentle breeze. It looks like she could rip his face off, but her roars just make his eyes brim with joy. We've been dating for about 400 years now, and the long distance thing is a bit of annoyance. We make it work. The moment I finally devise an effective method of accomplishing your demise, I will rip your soul from your ever-regenerating body and chew it to a gruel. He sits down at the all-but-destroyed table and picks up the menu. But until that beautiful day when I can be with you forever, you're going to need to eat something else. Teleporia stops. She looks at me and I bounce between eyes, trying to make contact with one that doesn't stare down into my deepest inadequacies. There is human fuel here? I nod. Her mouth breaks open into it. Her mouth breaks open into a smile. Well, at least she's happy. Excellent. You are spared from punishment, Hendrik, if only for the moment. She sits down, but not on a chair. Dozens of her tentacles are still present throughout the entire room, spikes driven deep into the surfaces, blocking all the exits. Well, that sucks. She settles into one of the squishy appendages, looking pleased. So then maybe we should order an appetizer? It's not that... Oh, shit. It's not that I can't believe that this is happening. I have an open mind. But as far as a sudden supernatural shifts to my life, I was really hoping for wizard school. Or just a plain old haunting. Some ghosts are pretty cool, right? At least with a zombie or something, I know the rules here. What are the rules with this thing? Do I throw rice on the ground to stall her? Will she attack me if I touch her with iron? I listen to my gut, but I can't make out anything but general foreboding. Demon? You summon demons? So that fits? But I don't know. Something doesn't seem quite right about that. Maybe she's excuse me. I could barely think, but I can at least fall back to one set of rules. I struggle to stutter out the rote reply. Would you like to start off with a soup or salad tonight? The man grins and gives an eager nod. Could I please get the blue cheese salad? And for my sweetie... Teleporia rolls her eyes and her teeth flash as she cuts in. Hendrik, I've been on enough of these sham dates to know that ordering for your companion is rude. His face falls. But it's been ages since you've eaten any food. You're chewing on the fork right now. She gives him a glare and slowly places the slightly bent cutlery back down on the table. Fine. But before he could say another word, she makes her move. I don't want your advice, though. I want the young human to choose for me. Oh, boy. Oh, no. He sighs, annoyed. But he checks himself before looking at me. I think he knows that she's putting me on the spot. I could appreciate that he's trying to look out for me. I mean, I'd appreciate it more if he could have not summoned some kind of eldritch thing during an already busy Saturday shift. Or at all. I ease my throat, open enough to squeak out. She looks like she needs some meat in her life. This doesn't seem too much of anything to her. Great. What would you like for your entree? She slams her fist down on the table. My stomach lurches. First, bring me the matter. This physical form requires fuel to sustain itself. I turn on my heel and fly out there, an excuse to leave. If there are any kindly extra-dimensional beings looking down on me right now, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them. I rush into the kitchen. Back in the kitchen, everyone's still bustling about. Other servers are calling in their orders. The ambitious cooks are working. The slightly less ambitious cooks are cracking jokes with each other. They are as obvious as the customers up front. I can see my manager discussing some menu changes with the head chef. Hey, does anyone else see what's going on out there? But nobody turns to look at me. Hey, I'm serious. What the hell's going on? Are they ignoring me? Do you expect me to just come back here and bring in this order like nothing's wrong? I take a sarcastic tone. Yeah, we got a blue cheese and a chili on table 6, just another usual night, right? Without warning, a tray with the orders put down on the counter next to me. Okay. I mean, really? If you're a busy chef, who notices a demon or an interdimensional being just popping up? You got orders to do, man. Orders. But other than that, there's no hint of a glance. No guilty looks. Hey! Nobody even flinches. It's a busy Saturday night, man. What do you expect? Fine. Looks like I'm on my own. And did I tell you how lovely your eyes are this evening? From your ever effusive sewer pipe of compliments springs something worthwhile. I made most of them myself, but the eye in the center of my head was my reference object. Huh. I guess I could see that. Where did these come from? None. I couldn't even tell the difference. Your anatomy has gotten so much better since the last decade. It is easier when I have fresh supply of study materials. Oh, wrong voice, but whatever. So I suppose I could remain here long enough to consume some matter. Let no sentiment being claimed that I do not repay my debts. Well, that's just one of the perks of the job. Teachers can bring home knowledge, cooks can bring home food, and surgeons can bring spare body parts back to their girlfriends. Yeah. Well, I guess. I could say with relative certainty that isn't how it works. If I ever find out this man's last name, I'm never going to his hospital. I serve Teleporia her chili, trying not to get too close. Please be careful, it's very hot. Remember, sweetie, that too much heat can injure... Silence, meat garden. I want to call somebody that. If any of my family members just start yelling at me, silence, meat garden. I know what to do with this volatile heat sources. She flings the skull liquid across the table and hits Hedrick square in the chest. Ugh! He rushes out to the bathroom, face red from pain. We don't serve our soups at heat that could do permanent damage, but it still has to hurt. She closes most of her eyes and inhales a deep breath, satisfied. When she speaks again, her rough voice has a tranquil tone. Clean it up, human. This is an establishment with standards, is it not? Well, it is, I mutter. The elegant charm might be a bit altered by the sudden presence of giant tentacles. She snuggles down into her seat. This is a gift for your owners. This is a sliver of my true form. Well, it's lovely. Sorry that you didn't like the chili. Apology unnecessary, human. I enjoyed that immensely. She sniffs the air. And it smells nice as well. She dabs a little of the meat on her neck. Yeah, let's just, get the lamb perfume going. This body has concentrated blood flow around the throat and wrists. These pulse points heat and disperse stray molecules of matter, allowing humans to perceive them with their noses. She seems quite pleased with this luxury. She wraps a scarf around herself. Now that I think about it, the clothing Hendrik brought for her is all very heavy. A maxi skirt, a thick sweater, a blanketed scarf. The way you're clutching that scarf, are you cold? You may not have my scarf. It retains my heat. I will continue to generate and retain heat, and it will belong to me, not you. I take a step back. No, that's all your heat, fair and square. She growls. Happily. Okay. Yes, all mine. Hendrik will be procuring more matter this evening, which will continue to power this form. Physical exertion is a luxury, the caloric energy necessary to move but a digit. She lifts one of her own claws. Is precious. I have gone for thousands of years lying in wait for foolish summoners to tear open rifts and let in the good heat from your world. Teleportia leans down on the table. The edges of the scarf trail into her chili, or at least what's left of it. It is selfish to be happy that she's disarmed now. Is it? Sorry. I look at the still present tentacles and recalculate that statement. She at least cannot harm me with soup. And that's something. So, human, do you enjoy generating your own heat? It's good. I'd rather turn on the heater, though. It's not great, really. Have you ever gotten sweaty? I like it. Physical activity's fun. I too enjoy hunting. Actual consumption of matter at times comes second to the thrill of pursuing a terrified creature. Well, I was thinking more about exercise, to keep in shape. She stops. Do you waste your fuel on extra heat? No, it isn't a waste. It's fun. She hisses through her jagged teeth. The human enjoys this, does he? Yes, it's nice to be able to move, isn't it? She taps her knife against her glass. Well, I suppose. Phew. And Hendrik returns. Getting along well? As well as might be expected. Still, thank you for keeping her company. We'll eat our appetizers in. She shakes her head. I'm finished with mine. He laughs. Of course, how could I forget? So then, would you like to move on to the main course now? The next part of the meal? Ah, yes. With, the larger portions. Hendrik points to her menu. So, what were you thinking about? I always like steak, but I admit that I was kind of thinking about splurging on the... Hey, Human Joe Waffle? I snap to attention. Yes, ma'am. Choose. Do it promptly and wisely, or else I will need to consume something else for my main course. She's staring me right in the eyes, and her gaze lingers on my mouth. She stares at my teeth and licks her lips. Oh, she wants human teeth? Ugh. Could she eat my teeth? Well, I think you would enjoy. Squishy, but she was staring at teeth. Tender, but she was staring at teeth. Maybe she'll eat the whole lobster. And its teeth. Hendrik gives a bit of a nod. That's my order too. It's been a while, but this is a special night. What? At what point did humans discover the joy of consuming live creatures? Wait, she doesn't think I'll serve it to her while it's still... No, sweetie, I'm afraid that most of us are still a touch prudish about that sort of thing. But they have a tank here, so the lobster is fresh. Nothing is as fresh as squeezing the life from a creature with your jaws. Feeling it writhe and struggle in a fruitless attempt to stave off the icy certain of death. She's looking straight at my throat. 2 lobster dinners coming right up. I rush away as quickly as I can. I try to convince the chef to serve me 1 lobster live. I feel downright ghoulish, but between me and a crustacean, I'm going to defend myself every time. But her reaction is the same as the last time. She prepares the dishes as usual, hands them off to me, never making eye contact or reacting to anything I say. Oh, what is this? She lifts up the extra utensil. It's the lobster cracker you use to crack open the shell. This is a fair idea, but it's such a waste, Joe Waffle. To use this on a deceased creature? Well, if food is dead, isn't it easier to consume? She waves a claw at me. Not if you have to crack it open anyway. Hendrik is already digging the meat out of his. I like it. It's soothing to have a little tactile activity as part of your meal. Teleportia's claws slip on the lobster cracker. Meat Shield, how are you employing your tool? Well, you put either end of the material a bit over, raise it up, and demonstrate. He holds the lobster cracker and one leg up, leaning forward so they're close enough for her to get a good look. She holds hers up, pantomiming his action. Pantomiming. Then promptly grabbing one of his hands, wrapping the cracker around his pointer finger and gripping it tight. Oh. His finger juts out at an odd angle and blood drips onto the torn tablecloth. So she cut off his finger. She cackles and throws the metal tool at his head. Fool, I can easily employ such a simple item. Ha, ha. He's leaning away from his injured hand, the other on his face. Right you are, you got me. He does look embarrassed. It's really hard to tell through the pain. I mean, that is an expression of pain on his face, right? I guess she got him. He breathes heavily, trying to get himself under control. As though to prove a point, he's going right back to eating dinner. More power to you, man. More power to you. As though nothing were wrong. And you could smile. So, before I go, is everything to your liking? Is the food, powering your true form enough? Silly Joe Waffle. When in my true form, I do not consume human fuel. This human template What did you call it? Hendrix caught mid-bite and he covers his mouth to respond. Human sona? My human sona consumes calories, inhales oxygen, excretes feces, all the same as yourself, I assume. I never expected to have a restaurant patron ask if I breathe and poo, but here we are. But my true form requires something much more deeply sustaining. She stares me down. She looks at my teeth again. She looks me in the eye. She holds that eye contact and waits. I try not to squirm, but my moxie is inadequate for this situation. She waits and then laughs. I can breathe again. Delicious. A light dusting of fear. Nothing too overwhelming. If that doesn't strike her as much fear, please let me never learn what does. So, you eat fear then? It falls under my purview. Suffering? Sweetie's true form eats concepts. And she builds her human sonos to have quite the taste for them too. Any form of important emotion could sustain her, but she's picky. I am not. Suffering is the only thing worth eating. Eating anything else would be beneath me. It's okay, whatever you eat. I love you just the way you are. And I would like you much better with several more stab wounds to the head. This is a match made in heaven right here. Anytime, sweetie. Though I managed to sneak away for the next 15 minutes, I know that I'll eventually have to return and try to strike up conversation with the line cooks again. So, do you guys feel about recent tentacle invasion? Of course, nobody responds. Yeah, it's hard to really put into words, huh? No response. Dishes click. I guess the spooky atmosphere has a certain charm, but I don't think it'll catch on with the baby boomers. Conventional wisdom says that they like elegance or rustic charm. And Midwestern moms are not into dripping fluids. Ugh. I mean, as a general group. I don't want to assume individual tastes. This gets boring quickly, so after the appropriate waiting period, I head back over. So thank you for dining with us tonight. I did it. I made it through the evening. I'm tempted to not even give them a check, to just rush them right out the door, but I refuse to slip up now. We've gone this far, Joe Waffle. It's been a delight getting to know the both of you. How kind of you. You know, I was planning on heading out, but you know what? I couldn't care less if I attempted. I'm very powerful and I am capable of carrying far less than most humans could in their most apathetic dreams. Let's do dessert. Oh. I didn't really want to, okay, a 3-course meal. I look from his smiling face to Teleporia's cruel one. I know how this goes. Let's make a recommendation. Flambe, something hot. Flambe sounds hot. I have no idea what this is, and I'm an uncultured swine, guys. Very uncultured swine. So, in my professionalism slipping, must be. What are we impregnating? Sweetie, it's a figure of speech. I do not have that function this time around. Sweetie, I think he's just tired. That's okay. I think if I want this to be a truly satisfying night for our esteemed void goddess, then she's going to enjoy this dessert. Or at least how we cook it. What is this blathering about? But I can tell I've got her hooked. We cook it, We cook at tableside with a huge flame. And there it is. I'm not sure about this. Looks like he's picked up on the pattern, too. Oh, I insist. I don't even write this one down. One flaming dessert for table 6. I scramble about the kitchen, grabbing everything I need. Am I cleared to do this? Hell no. 2 weeks is not long enough to have permission to set things on fire next to the diners. But tonight's special, isn't it? I wheel the cart over, feeling a mite chatty. I take my time prepping to light it on fire. So, congrats on getting out of, what did you call it? The cold place? The Void. Void, God. What's it like in there? Cold. Dark, cold, mostly barren. Locked for something approaching eternity with nothing but your own thoughts. Unless one can become creative. I do my best to make creatures to fill it, but it is a vast expanse. Literally endlessly big. I cannot keep an accent on her. I don't know why. But with nothing in it. Yeah, I caught part of your conversation before you made your body, right? Indeed. When wrists become open, I am able to seize not only heat, but stray matter. I model the majority of my creations after your carbon-based life forms, but modifications must be made. I'll bet if the void doesn't have heat or any of its own matter, you'd need to make creatures that don't eat or breathe, right? Good human. I model most of them after myself. And you eat concepts? Yes. After billions and billions of years, I've evolved over 1 million species of void creatures. Nearly all of them feed as I do on the concept of suffering. So it's an endless barren place with no light, no heat, where only things that exist just go around preying on each other's suffering all the time. Yes. Is it not marvelous? And someday, human Joe Waffle, there will be a rift large enough that is not tiny scraps and stray humans which fall through. That it is not... Okay, my brain just died. But your entire plane of existence. You will enjoy it. Wouldn't I, hate it? I got distracted there for a bit, but I grabbed the rum. Can't caramelize it right without a pretty flame. I mean, I don't enjoy suffering. You'd be surprised what humans can get used to. Yeah, she basically broke your finger or cut it off, I can't tell by the sentence. I used the wrong English word. A closer translation might be... resignation. You would become resigned to an existence saturated with pain. Enjoy isn't the correct term. Unless you're a disgusting cluster of miswired brain signals. Unless you're a freak. Love you too, sweetie. Freak! I know what you're doing, Hendrik. Huh? You think if you keep delaying me with fancy dinners, stolen body parts, and gentle words and rough sex... Can we not talk about our sex life in public, thank you? She places a hand on his arm. That you can stop me? You are, as always, disgusting, but an appealing opponent. Look out. I light it up. The flame shines in her eyes, and I can feel the heat coming off it. I should probably be keeping a close eye on it to make sure it's cooking properly. But looking over at Hendrik and Teleporia, holding hands. Well, yeah. So simply and happily, she's gripping his hand tightly from joy. and then she jerks him across the table. Straight into the flame cart. Now, that burn, that's one that can cause permanent damage. Though, you may be lucky that that's the worst thing to happen to him tonight. He executes a perfect stop, drop, and roll, and soon the flames are out. Eesh. Though he's far from unscathed. Human, this was a fantastic dinner. Bring us a statement so that we may repay you for your noble worship and gifts. I salute and wheel what remains of an upturned cart away. It's not long before I return with the bill in hand. He takes the check. Wow, he seems to do a bit of calculations in his head, then lays down some cash. Well, this evening wasn't a complete waste of time and effort. Organ ravioli. Hendrik looks up at her. You may have one short, friendly embrace. He jumps on his feet, arms wide open to hug her, and one of her tentacles slam into him, throwing his body across the room. Bye. Wow, that wasn't even throwing, that was like it. Bye. It slams into the wall and ragdolls to the ground. Hug transaction complete. Oh no, did you just kill him? She heaves a sigh. Would I were so lucky? No, human, I've merely rendered him unconscious. That's good. Via severe cranial hemorrhaging. That's bad. He will sleep it off. I've ripped off his limbs before. He could take it. She looks almost fond. I mean, he's sticking around. I don't know. Good for him. I mean, he's in love. That is true love right there. He, wants to give her a hug. She rips off his limbs, causes internal brain hemorrhaging. True love right there. She gets up, walks over to him, and grabs him by the foot. I suppose it's time to return him to his residence. She perks up. Or I can abandon his body in a trash unit. Perhaps maybe I will find him and he will be placed inside a trash compactor. Perhaps nobody will find him and he will be placed inside a trash compactor. As she turns to drag him away, I ask, Miss Teleporia. She turns quizzical. Human, I am departing. You've made it through this evening unscathed. You have a little to no ability to comprehend how fortunate that makes you. But I suggest you make an attempt. I clear my throat. I think I'm trapped. I gesture around the restaurant. Oh, yes, I had forgotten your world usually has even more light, does it not? She shrugs. Well, I had no hand in this. And with that, she waves aside a tentacle and marches through the front door. Hendrik's head thuds against the ground as she walks down the staircase and out of sight. When I hear the front door close, well, that is beautiful. Another server bumps me in the shoulder, stepping past. They give me a dirty look and keep heading their way. Just like that, I'm back. I get moving, clearing tables, scooping up the check. I check the tip. 40%. It might not cover emotional distress, but it'll cap off the shift well. This was quite an experience. But for my own safety, I think I'm going to skip the 2 weeks notice. Good idea. I came here to learn something new, and I'd say that goal was more than accomplished. I guess that's it? Oh. Ending 4. A hug goodbye. Well, I believe it said there's 5 endings. Like I said, this was just really to test the fields. This is the first time using my recording stuff. And I think it was a good game to start out with. It was a very interesting game. Apparently, it's 5 endings. So, I mean, if you guys haven't played it yet, I definitely would check this out. It's a really interesting game and figure out the other 4 endings. But I'm gonna let you go. If you want, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let me know how you liked it, and I will see you guys next time. Boom, 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 boom.